And actually I think MG doing a really good job upping the level of finish in their vehicles now.
Let's get started.
Here we are today, my name's Adrian from Anchor EV. Just going to give you a little walk around the MG ZS here. There's a lot of choice out there, just want to give you a little bit of insight into the vehicles, let you know what we're finding good and bad about them. Starting here with the MG ZS, this is the trophy edition. Reason we've picked this one, it's a great combination of sort of equipment levels, practicality, affordability. I think with these, they work really well as a sort of first time electric vehicle, great for the family buyer. Just wanted to give you a little walk around it. This car launched 2022, very early part. Replaced the earlier 44.5 kilowatt version. This one moved up to the 72.6. Little tip for everybody out there when you're looking at these electric vehicles, the kilowatt hour, whilst maybe doesn't mean a lot to most of us, if you reckon that every one of these cars gets about 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, and then you can sort of factor it out from there. So taking this as the 72.6 going to give you a real world usable range of about 250 miles. Doing a lot around town work, probably going to get 300 out of something like this. When they changed the car, so a little bit of change around the front end compared to the vehicle it replaced. It's one of those cars, they're probably not the flashiest vehicle in the market, but they are a car that's going to do a job and do it really well. As we walk around it, the real change at the front here with a grille, you've got your charging point just on the front here. That just pops open, capable of both types of charging, so sit nicely on your 7 kilowatt at home. You can take it onto the fast charge networks as well. Something like this, probably 20 to 80%, you're going to get in about an hour and 20 minutes, somewhere around there. As I sort of come around the vehicle a little bit, from the exterior, it's something you'll see inside. They've got a nice low belt line on the car. One thing I found, sort of putting my family into the back of these cars, that visibility out the back is just a great thing, keeps your rear passengers happy, and I think when we're doing a longer journey in a car that's capable of a bit more range, nice to keep those kids quiet in the background. Really nice usable bit of space in these. I think at this time of year, you know, we're loading the kids in, loading the presents in, we're all off doing our Christmas shopping, so nice to know that you've got plenty of space in there. Looking at the litre capacity of it, it's a 470 litre boot in its current format. When you get the seats folded down, they're nice and easily done from the tabs on top. You're looking at 1,100 litres of space there, so really, you know, great for the tip run, great for that sort of thing. And like I say, just adds itself to the sort of practicality of this car. So just getting into the back of the car, lovely rear legroom in these actually. Cup holder section. That comes in from the mid-level spec on one of these. So again, this is the Trophy Long Range. You can go up into the Trophy Connect. Doesn't make a lot of difference to spec. So we tend to find that the long range is probably the best one to be looking at. Take a seat in, again, great entry into the vehicle. And I know a lot of people look at these slightly higher riding cars. You know, some people find it a lot easier to get in and out of a car that's got this sort of ride height to it. Lovely thing with this one, it's a very open sort of passenger space in the vehicle. You don't feel claustrophobic, you don't feel boxed in at all. Just feels like a really nice place to be in here. As I say, it's a sort of, you know, mid-spec, sort of mid-budget vehicle, but great trim levels, great specification, and actually I think MG doing a really good job upping the level of finish in their vehicles now. We've talked a lot about the sort of specification, how generous, I guess is the right word, MG have been with this one. One of the lovely things you're going to see on it, so just into the door mirror there, you've got your blind spot monitoring. If ever you've seen it, yeah, it's a great system. Watches that rear 3/4 blind spot when you're on the motorway. We've all had that little moment where we've gone to pull out in front of somebody, you know, you just managed to pull it in time, heart starts going. With this, watching that rear 3/4 blind spot, if you indicate, if you look like you're about to pull across someone, if you've got someone in that rear blind spot, it's going to light up on that door mirror and it's going to let you know all about it. It's just a brilliant safety feature. The bank of sensors at the top here, again, additional tech on the vehicle. It's standard to this trophy version. That's going to be watching for any sort of lane departure. So if you start straying across those lanes, we all know what it's like. You've had a late night, you haven't had that final cup of coffee, just starting to nod off. We're not promoting that, but what we have got is a car that's going to warn you about it. As you start to stray out of those lines, it's going to do a great job, let you know. A really nice and simple infotainment system on the modern MG. From any screen, just pressing the picture of the home takes us here. We've got details of the charging, obviously CarPlay, Android, I'll touch on in a moment. nice and easy through the radio and then into the navigation. So it keeps everything nice and simple there. As we touch into the climate control, gives us all of our options, different air blow, etc. But very sort of intuitive system. Got heated seats on the car. It's always nice, getting colder out there now. I mentioned there obviously Apple CarPlay, so very simple setup with this. Just going to plug the lead in, plug the phone in, and just touching on Apple CarPlay there, takes us straight in, gives you access to all of the apps off of your own phone. In particular, Google Maps, always a nice one, live traffic information, that sort of stuff. So the infotainment system, like I say, very clean interface, very simple to use, nice and self-explanatory. Got both types of USB in the front. Then we've got these few buttons which are very specific to the electric vehicle. Mode here will go between the different driving modes on one of these. So with this particular car, we've got the economy mode, normal and sport. So they will affect range very slightly. Sport will obviously mean a little bit more performance from the car. Economy, making it as economical as possible, saving your range on it. Then we come back down, we've got KERS, Kinetic Energy Return System. This will adjust the level of auto braking from the vehicle. Now, one of the great things with electric cars is the ability to effectively drive them on a single pedal. So using the accelerator pedal, every time you let off, the car's just going to come to a far more immediate halt than you'll normally experience with a free rolling vehicle. But what it's doing, exactly as it says, kinetic energy return, it's storing up all of that wasted energy and using that just to top your battery up a little bit each time. So again, really nice feature to see on these. The car's got radar cruise control. Mentioned a little bit about some of the safety features on this vehicle. Radar cruise control, just monitoring that vehicle in front of you, and it's going to maintain your speed to it in traffic, so far less having to constantly adjust that speed. Just let the car do it for you. It's a really nice option. Hands-free calling, all done from the steering wheel. Little button there for the voice control. That will access either Siri or your Android Assistant, depending on what you're using. Simple press, bring up our battery information screen. As you can see with this, we've got the current state of charge at 80%. Now, recommendations with electric vehicles. The recommendation is don't let your battery drop below 20% and don't charge it above 80% unless required. If you're doing a long journey, absolutely fine to do it. Typically speaking though, you're going to keep it between that 20 and 80%. You're going to protect the battery against any sort of degradation. Now, far less of an issue than it used to be on a lot of the earlier vehicles with these late plate stuff like this. A lot of the information out there is based on old sort of 10-year-old battery information. Things have moved on a long way now. So thanks for watching. Going to be running a nice series of these. There's a lot of electric vehicles in the market, so trying to give a very unbiased view of which ones are going to suit your situation best of all. Got a lovely stock down here. If you want to have a look through any of our vehicles, follow it up with the information that's on screen there for you. I look forward to seeing you for the next one. Thank you.